Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is episode 44 of this Let's Play series, and today we are launching a basic science satellite, something we probably should have done a long time ago, but we are doing it now. Kerbals have everything a bit backwards. I haven't touched the design at all since you last saw it. I just added a decoupler and fixed up the staging stuff. That's kind of interesting. So we're going to launch this into orbit, just a basic say we did it thing. Doesn't really do anything for us. But this does help me figure out how this rocket works in terms of a basic lifting design, so that we could maybe use this to launch parts of the space station we're going to build at some point, and also maybe use this to get stuff orbiting Moon and Minmus. I don't know. Because in my sandbox save file, I actually put a space station around Moon, and that was pretty cool. I mean, space stations don't serve much of a purpose, really. Not yet, at least. I mean, they can, I guess, be a time saver if you're really good at the game. Then you could send a space station up with the science stuff and use it for that sort of thing, but honestly, in most cases, it's just easier to just keep sending separate ships to Moon to land in all the biomes, gather the data, and return it. Anyway, let's go ahead and see. We should be just about at where I want to be. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't want to get too high. Now let's go ahead and... Oh wait, we do need some of the engines to make turning go a bit faster, because this thing is it's a doozy to turn, especially without any like big SAS thing on top. We just have the dinky little remote controller things, whatever they're called, robotic, whatever you want to call them. Let's push into orbit. We won't get into orbit with this fuel, but we will get somewhere. I haven't decided how high up I'm going to put the satellite. I'm thinking we'll kind of get there and see how our fuel is. I think we'll have plenty of fuel, because this rocket design has lifted something much heavier than this tiny little probe. Okay, let's go ahead and lower our throttle down. Let's F5 as well, and there we go, a successful decoupling. And now if anything goes wrong, we have a reload point in space. Now, I like this stage a lot. I like the previous stage too. I'm just kind of a fan of this rocket design. It's kind of clunky and stupid, but it's efficient in terms of being really easy to use. So here's our space station, sitting just about 150, so we kind of want to go beyond 150 with our orbit. Maybe not as far out as Moon, obviously. That is 11.4 million. But if we have the fuel, maybe like 1 million? Would that be too crazy? I don't know. Who knows? They might add science. Like, realistically, science wouldn't just be near and far. You'd have, like, maybe being a million out would get you 5 more science, even though you've already done both near and far. That'd be a bit realistic, and maybe they'll do that. As they add more uses for science, they'll need to add more ways to earn science. And they definitely don't seem too concerned about adding too many ways, because we've got asteroids, we've got moon biomes and Minmus biomes, and all sorts of stuff. The cost is going to be quite high if they want to have us using up all our science, especially the asteroids, which are repeatable science. So you technically have unlimited science if you have the patience to visit every asteroid that flies by. Anyway, let's actually get into orbit before we celebrate too much. This is a good proof of concept of this thing as a lifting system, just for any old mission. Oh, that's loud. And there we go. Let's push it out to 1 million, let's say. Oh, slow down, slow down. There's 1 million. Nice, that's pretty far out. Yeah, I like that. So let's get over there. See, this makes me feel like I'm actually good at this game. Whenever you read all the posts of people, which I'm sure some viewers might have the problem where you have trouble getting anything into orbit. So this kind of makes me feel like I'm actually somewhat skilled at the game, because if nothing else, I can at least put stuff into space and get to places with relative ease. Okay. We have to turn all the way around, though. That's going to be a bit of a chore with this. Because even with the outer stage gone, this thing still probably could have included a bit more of these SAS things on these bits. That might have... not SAS, RCS. That might have made things a bit easier. On the plus side, these are almost out of fuel. I'm almost kind of wishing I had dumped these already, because now they're going to be stuck in orbit with me. Stop rotating. I have an idea. Of course, my idea involves just undoing what I just did. Let's go ahead and time warp, actually. Well, physics warp is the proper terminology here. That makes things so much easier. This is a bit of a fuel waste, but like I said, we got plenty of fuel. Now, let's see here. Let's untime warp. And let's put these right there. Sure. And detach. Fuel forward, whatever. Okay. So those will go burn up in the atmosphere. That way, the only thing that we will be leaving in orbit is possibly this piece, if it doesn't have enough fuel after the maneuvers are done. Alternatively, I could have just held on to those, but the difficulty turning was annoying. And isn't this a beautiful view? With the pieces floating away to go fall into the atmosphere. If we'd put parachutes on them, we could have retrieved them. I actually don't know how that works. I think you have to be focused on them, otherwise they just vanish and are assumed destroyed. Okay, so here we go. Right, we're in the apoapsis. Okay, so now let's lift it back up and get it up to 1,000,000. Oh, we got plenty of fuel. We could go to the moon. We could go to moon, not the moon. Look at that. 1,000,000 by 1,038. Let's go ahead and time warp. Get to the other side. I want to kind of be a perfectionist because this thing is going to be incapable of tweaking its own orbit. So let's see here. A minute. Okay, let's... There's no maneuvering of any kind on this satellite. Not even a single RCS. It is minimalism. It is designed for a singular purpose. Okay, so... Wait. I got it backwards again. Oh my god. Because this time I actually do want to slow down, and I was... whatever. On the plus side, we had plenty of time. That's why I stopped a bit early, so any mistakes could be undone. Stop. Fine. There we go. Overshooting it. Okay, now how to do this. Just lightly tap on the fuel. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just about 1,000,000 by 1,000,000 would be nice. 1,000,000, 1,000,000. Very nice. But actually that gets a bit annoying having it like that. So there, 999 by... Okay, that's a bit annoying too. Let's push that. Oh, can I do that? No. Oh, it's kind of wiggling though. There. It seems to be sure that... No, it's not. I don't want to have it constantly wiggling, so... Those don't appear to be wiggling very much. I don't know, it might stop doing that anyway. Yeah, those are within 1,000 of each other. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, but detaching is going to launch this thing forward and probably mess up the orbit slightly. That sucks. Oh well. So long, Switch. Let's get your scientificness ready. There we go. Very nice. What is your final orbit? It only diverged slightly. So there we go. We have our first, I guess you could call this like a communications satellite. Although it doesn't really do any communicating. What way should we aim it? Aim it this way, where it's pointing that at the planet. It doesn't really matter. Or point it upwards, for no apparent reason. But that is not solar panel efficient, is it? Well, I mean, what the heck? Why? Why are the panels facing away? I don't know. It is a mystery to us all. I'm going to extend that so this looks like a proper satellite. Look at that. We are in business. Now what do we got here? Hey, look at that. Not only are we in business, but we are transmitting. Time warp. Transmit that data. There we go. Any more, or is that it? One? Nah. Barometer's not going to do anything. I just put that on there for simplicity. Aw. High over Kerbin's water. It's interesting how it matters that it's over the water. Does that mean that there's high over Kerbin's land as well? We could rotate around the orbit and see. Where do we pass land? Of course, it doesn't matter. I'm still transmitting. So that's the problem with this equatorial orbit, is there's not much land, but there's some. Oh, the sun. Okay, we are... here's the land mass. Okay, we are definitely over land. Now, will we get new gravity data? We do. Really? So there's in space high over each biome. Interesting. See, this satellite situation is paying off. Whoa. We're going in orbits there. What other biomes do you think we can get? Are we over a mountain yet? Grasslands, that works for me. I'm liking this. Can we get over a desert as well? Whee! Okay. Where are we right now? See, this is something I didn't really know about. Kerbin's grasslands. No. It looks like there's mountains there, but I guess we're not quite over them. It'd be kind of cool if you could get like a little red dot on your current location. Okay, so where are we now? Getting stuff like the shores would probably be pretty hard. Hey, mountains! This is crazy. Look at all the science we're getting. I was not expecting to get this much science out of this little thing. I thought I was just wasting time. Not even for any good reason. I just really wanted to have a satellite for some reason. Because I have one in my sandbox mode. And that made me wonder why I hadn't done that in this one as well. Okay, so let's wait until we're over the desert. And no. There we go. This is the last one I'll do. There's probably others I could technically do, but like maybe Badlands, maybe Shores. But I think this pretty much covers what we needed to do. So yes, this is... Oh, I need to rename vessel. This is called... what should we call it? The Kerbin's first probe. There we go. That is a suitably terrible name for an extremely basic thing. Anyway, let's I'm guessing, yeah, we can't switch. Who knows where it is relative to us now? Our orbits are slightly different thanks to that decoupling, yeah. It's way over there. Switch to... This thing is called Basic Satellite, but there is nothing satellite-y about it. I should have probably included some science pieces on this, and I could have done science on the way down or something. But such is not the case. I'm going to do a horribly inefficient thing. Burn straight towards the planet. Because I can! I mean, why not? What does that even do to the orbit? it kind of shifts it over. Or it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because I can. Time warp. We're gonna launch into this planet. I can tell you that right now. This is going to be an example of why you do not go in an extremely fast, straight down encounter with any planet, no matter what the atmosphere is like. I think we are going to find out just how bad it can be. Of course, we don't have any parachutes or any way to slow down anyway, but regardless, we can actually do a regular time warp, right? Oh. Woo! I hope I didn't destroy the planet with that time warp there, as has been known to happen. So here we go, we're incoming at... Oh, we have, whatever. Look at that. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Now we're actually slowing down pretty good. Still. Just imagine if this was Duna or something, which has been known to happen. Okay, so we actually could have. I wasn't going quite fast enough, I guess. We'll have to try harder next time. Anyway, let's do a physics warp. Boom! That is what I call a successful mission. We got a ton of science, and we got to blow something up. Anyway, now I have to decide what to do next. But first off, let's see just how many science points I have. Researchy, sciencey bits. 280, not bad. We need 300 for something if we want that, but this is kind of what I want. I don't know. One thing I need to do is, actually, I can do it right now. I want to see if I need any parts for my ship that I used in my first KSP short video. Well, actually my second one. The one where I spin in a circle a long time. So I think what I have to do, and you can maybe use this as well if you don't know, is that you can go into your KSP folder, wherever it's installed. For me, it's in my Steam area. And you can move stuff around between saves. So here's the saves folder. You guys can't see this, but I totally can. KaBob, ships, VAB. I just have to figure out which one that actually was that I did the spinning on. That would be base. Dang it, I don't know what I saved it as. It's a bit of a problem, actually. A bit of a problem. Actually, wait a second. Oh, okay. I named it wrong. Whoops. I found it. I call it Spinny. And then I got to go into here. Sorry about this kind of downtime, but here we go. We get to see if I can load this thing. I'm pretty sure it checks if you own the parts before it lets you load something. I could be wrong about that. We could just have cheated. Anyway, let's find Spinny in this list. Spinny! I hope this is the right one. It is. And we loaded it, so I must own all these parts. I own this, right? Yeah, right there. Okay. Well, that's cool. So this was what I did the spinning in because I accidentally had all these on the same thing. So let's go ahead and fix that. But this was just a test thing. I did this with hacks. What I want to do is detach that and then drop this in as a sub-assembly, I believe, is what I want. And then I can load in the old, heck, let's load up the basic satellite. We're going to try to launch this thing, because if I can get this thing into space, then we can land it on the moon. It's kind of like my little space base. Okay, so this is basic. We'll call this fancy lander. It's not basic, it's fancy. Save. There. Now I don't have to worry about accidentally saving over the old design. So we go ahead and detach. Oh, I didn't. Ah, well. I didn't save what I used to launch the satellite, but I don't think we're going to be launching a satellite again. I could put those in orbit around everything. Put one around Moon and Minmus, but I don't need to. Sub-assemblies haven't... Hey! I guess I missed something. Spinny. What did I do wrong? Sub-assemblies are a bit annoying, in my opinion. Oh, Right. I know what I did wrong. I dropped it in the wrong place. I realized it the second I did it. Okay, so toss this and drop that. Let's just call this lander for now. No description necessary. Now we load up. The annoying thing with sub-assemblies is attaching them can be really annoying. Let's see, fancy lander. Let's load up the fancy lander here. Okay. So then we once again toss this, and then we try to load up this. And I can't see anything from that much of a zoom out. Why will you not attach? That is why it's annoying. Attaching it is a pain in the butt. Like, there's no... I hate this. It wants me to attach this, is what it wants. Which is beyond stupid. And it doesn't even want to attach anyway. Why? They do need to work on these a bit. Okay, let's try this again. Now, maybe if I get rid of this bit, I thought it'd just attach nicely. That might fix the actual problem, but maybe this will work better. Maybe. So let's go ahead and drop this into these sub-assemblies. And we'll call it Spinny Lander, just to differentiate it. Right. Fancy Lander. This is why a lot of people cut out the construction phase of their videos. And why I should probably start doing that every time for the most part. Oh, man. Okay, are you gonna let me attach the right bit this time? Probably not. No. Doesn't even want to let me. It only lets you attach that bit, which I don't even want to attach. For obvious reasons. Like, it's stupid. Oh, well. I mean, this thing was designed to be attached the other way. But that is not going to happen. Maybe. Let's not give up quite yet. Maybe we can just plop one of these on here and then do... Ah! It actually works. Yeah. Annoying. Anyway, where is a thing? I'm guessing that would be utility, actually. Clampotron. Docking port, because I want one of those in there. So yeah, this is the star of the perfect landing in Kerbal Space Program video. Yeah, I don't know. Will we be able to lift this thing with this rocket? Let me think if this is going to be a problem launching it like this. I don't think so. The big issue is the landing. But, if we can get the landing to work, we should be fine. Let's see, control. We are going to put so much, just so much RCS on this. Just so much. Which it will be obvious why I'm doing this when we try to land. Might be obvious anyway, if you realize how I'm going to have to land. Ah, that should be good enough, I guess. This is probably going to end badly. Probably. Because what this really needs is a shorter rocket. But we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. Let's see if we got everything correct. We do not. Get up there. Get up there. What about the staging? We're not gonna accidentally decouple it, are we? What's this? Oh, look at that. It wants to decouple on that stage. Stupid thing. What is this? That decouples all. We actually want a new one then. Actually, let's move that there and that there. Yeah. That should do it. Oh, right. Those are my parachutes. This thing doesn't have parachutes. Whoops. Let's actually do that. Save. Okay, I think that's the correct staging. Let's just get this stupid thing launched, and hopefully we'll be able to get into orbit within the next 5 or so minutes. If we can get this thing in orbit, then we can get it to Moon, or Minmus. If not, then whatever. And when we get there, I'll explain the bizarre design choices I made on it. But that will not be in this episode. Let's go ahead and get it to day. There we go. Let's go ahead and throttle up. SAS, RSS. Now we find out if this thing can even lift itself. The answer is yes. It is very loud as well. And this thing is flipped. I'll fix that once we detach the loud ones. The solid fuels. No point in doing it now. It doesn't really change anything until I start doing maneuvers. But basically, subassemblies always seems to assume that it wants to be the main piece of the ship, which doesn't really make sense because I think the most useful thing for subassemblies is attaching things like rovers and other stuff that you might be using in multiple ways, in addition to the main part of the ship. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but even then, like, unless your command bit is usually the top bit, so having to attach the rest of the ship to that kind of defeats the purpose of subassemblies, because your subassembly is probably going to be below it, so then you have to flip it upside down. So I don't get it. And in the case of this design, you can't really flip it upside down very well. Detach. Goodbye, stuff. Okay, now we can... No, don't decouple. Where is it? There we go. Control from here. There we go. Let's go ahead and F5 now. Why not? So how are we doing in terms of spaceness? I think we are a bit lower down than we were last time. Just guessing here. But I do think that is the case. Which makes sense. We're launching this huge thing compared to that tiny little probe. So it makes sense that things would maybe not go quite the same. But still, we are getting into space. If nothing else, we would be able to do some science on the way down and transmit it. If all else fails, right? Okay, in space. Let's get up to, say, 80,000. Nice. Now for potentially tricky part, which is flipping over. Actually, it's flipping over nicer than it did with the other one, because this thing has this thing has a much bigger reaction wheel system than the tiny little satellite did. So this is actually nice. I was not expecting that. I should have been, but I wasn't. Let's go ahead and start pushing sideways and upwards. Doesn't really matter if we go too high in orbit, just so long as we get in orbit. Because we're not going to go as high as the moon is. Moon, not the moon. That is something that is hard not to say. Okay, detach, full speed. Ooh, it's weird how these ones are louder, despite being smaller. But I guess it's because there's twice as many, for one thing. Oh, God. The noise. We're getting a little jiggle there. Right, I didn't want to time warp. I wanted to... Oh, gosh, the noise. Sometimes it's really loud in this view, and I don't know why. I'm going to turn the game volume down. Hopefully not forget about it for once, because I almost always do in KSP. Turn the volume down and leave it that way the whole episode. Okay, so far so good. We have plenty of fuel. Let's actually cut it and get into an orbit. Going out beyond Space Station Alpha. And now rotate around again, because we don't want to head upwards, we want to head sideways. And there we go. Orbit! Ta-da! We are in space! And now we have a somewhat okay orbit. And that is setting us up for the next part of our mission, where we will hopefully land on Moon with... Let's just go there and see, I guess? I mean, we've still got a fair bit of fuel in these, and then we have this whole section, which will need to slow us down when we're... Yeah, we can do this. We can do this, except... And I'm only just now realizing this. There's not enough crew. So what I will do is I will send up a crew outside of the video, because that's... Docking in space is going to take me 20-30 minutes, and I don't want to do an episode of that. And then in the next episode, we will have 2 crew, and not Jebediah. I'll actually bring 2 crew up and then send Jebediah down. Yeah, I kind of screwed up on that, but it's okay. Jebediah got to test the new ship, and now we will send a more well-tested ship up with the actual crew for the mission. And we can refuel this too, so we should do fine. Anyway, this has been KaBob799. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to see more. Like this video if you liked it. Comment if you have anything to say. And I will see you in the next episode.